the G in Yu-Gi-Oh. This literally happened over time. I didn't get into Yu-Gi-Oh until I was an adult. When I was young, I wasn't too fascinated with Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have a very long and very urban, a very critical, a very gangster background when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh, my obsession began when I was a little kid, and I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh on Kids WB. But my Yu-Gi-Oh obsession really began when there was a Blockbuster right next to the high school that I went to. And so many people praised me for putting Yu-Gi-Oh as Death to Pharaoh in continuous A and Bs, and people are all like, yo, it's Yami Yugi, as I'm walking down the street, literally walking past my high school like, yo, this is my block. This is Yugi Moto's block. We all used to love Yu-Gi-Oh. And as anime went on and on and on, I kept on literally going through struggles. And literally, I realized that this world was wrong when I became an adult. I'm like, oh, we praise shit like Love and Hip Hop. We praise reality shows. We praise the shitty television. That's Breaking Bad. That's all that shit. When literally, we don't praise the good ass drip, the mega drip of Yugi Moto, of Luigi Britannia, of Jalal Fernandez, of Death the Kid. We don't praise any of those drips. What we praise is shit that we don't even know why we like it, but we still watch it anyway, which is why I stopped fucking with mainstream television. I stopped fucking with that, and people call me one-dimensional. And give you a little insider, they know that anime is smarter. They know anime is literally way more intellectual, but they would rather be focused on who's going out with who. Oh, he got her pregnant. Oh, he got me pregnant, and this and that. When really, nobody's playing their cards right in the situation. The crazy thing about anime and how Street Life and anime are heavily connected is that Street Life used to be heavy on strategy. The older generation of gangsters used to play nothing but chess and used to commit crimes after they played chess, and their strategies were way fucking harder. After I learned how real gangsters fucking operate, from being chased by fake gangsters, they don't know shit about the older generation of gangster. Me stepping to the side when you're squeezing the trigger so you don't hit me with the bullet is petty shit. Do you know that there are people back in the day that if you trapped them literally in a hallway in the street in a single file line where they have AKs and shit, people still have enough strategy to fuck them up? That's the older generation. You're putting me in 3D situations where I have multiple fucking options to go here and there, and there are literally people in the older generations that get faced with the same level of difficulty in one 2D spot. And literally, the older generation can do that, but you know what? I've learned that there are benefits to that. I've learned that literally, that these holes are for everybody is something that's really fucking foreign to this new generation. And I learned that being a gangster isn't all it's cracked up to be. In every fucking real gangster knows that if there's a square with potential that comes from a bad, abusive family that doesn't want to tell them the truth, that doesn't want to tell them that this world is dominant on street smarts, even though being book smart is more beneficial on paper, you get more connections and way more outlets to shit when you're street smart, but they all lead to bad tunnels and bad beginnings that really don't end. I've had a guy named Raj, and Raj was on my channel, and Raj literally gave me the hint of what things are like. Having Raj beat me in a dance battle, having Raj literally show me how to properly make beats, having Raj do this and that, having Raj have a girl with a really nice personality, it showed me that he comes from a lot of beginnings that don't end because of that specific fact that he was homeless on the street and he knew what to do, but the problem was this: he showed me what it really takes to get pussy. He thought that I couldn't fight, so I sparred him. He's all like, yo, when I looked at you, I thought that you were a square. And then he's like, I know you can't take me because I've been training in the mob, but I know you can beat my girlfriend Zax, who I'm running away from. When I fought him, he's like, I can tell that you've been in a fight. I can tell you won all those fights, but I can also tell that they didn't know what they were doing when they fought you. They kept on swinging when they should have been more technical. And really, Raj really told me he was supposed to be a rapper, and he also knows the really bad shit when it comes to being a rapper, that you don't really have freedom, that you're stuck in the studio because you have to make sure that your flow is at standard 24/7 so you never get sloppy, and that literally, when you literally choose the industry, like, you sacrifice so much free time and shit, and freedom can be reckless, but what I had wasn't reckless freedom. So Raj did not want a rapper now and then he tries to literally hook up with people to try to get something started up so he has enough money to be free, but he's not having his free time completely taken away. And he told me the real thing about when you live life like me is that it's all becoming rich and then going poor again. You're getting rich and becoming poor again. And that really fucking sucks, because this heavily ties into me and Yu-Gi-Oh! For a very good reason. Because Roz told me he never played Yu-Gi-Oh! And he kept on shoving Pokemon down my throat. One, because I was famous for being a Yu-Gi-Oh! Specialist, and the other reason was because he knew if he were played me in Yu-Gi-Oh! He would have died. I was always a prodigy in Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I literally single-handedly created the game called the Obelisk Blue in California. My arch rival Diamante literally was the most popular guy in my high school, and he showed me watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX after I was already famous for making AMVs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! It's all about Nefertari and Yu-Gi-Oh! They literally made this thing called Gangland. Did you know episode 2, when the Obelisk Blue are in that match and they're literally throwing up the champagne? I literally posted Gangland on my Instagram and I instantly became famous. And everybody's like, Gangland, Gangland. And Bozzy's like, Gangland, Gangland. And Bozzy and all them, literally, I helped the Bay Area become mainstream. And I stayed underground because I did not want credit for the shit that they were doing. Do you know that after I was famous for making the AMVs of their Bay Area rapper Nefertari with Yugi Moto, that they made the Dark Side Dimensions? Do not think that that was a coincidence. That happened all back in 2017 to 2018, 2016, around that time is where I was making AMVs constantly. If you ever think that's a coincidence, you'll never get a real girl. I'm sorry. If she comes at you with that amount of timing, that is not a coincidence. I'm sorry. I am the only reason we have Dark Side Dimensions, buddy, but I don't care about credit because I didn't put in the work for that studio. I figured that as a gift. That is a gift. They put in all that time, all that work to make a reference like, hey, it's my boy Yugi Moto. Oh my God. They did that just for me, and I couldn't be any more honored. Do you understand that keeping shit on the low is the same reason why if a girl literally gives you real validation that she's about to give you some pussy and you advertise it to your fucking friends, it's the same reason why word of mouth is so effective, because you putting them on blast is literally the worst thing. There was this time my brother tried to test me. There's a time while I was working at his construction job, and it was a whole fucking day, and literally I was waiting for these shoes to be there at this store called Burlington. Don't act like I'm not ghetto because I shop at Burlington. So anyway, I was waiting for these shoes for an entire fucking day. So I was working this construction job, and so the next day they weren't fucking there. And so I have them drive me to fucking Burlington, they're not there. So I'm like, man, you know what? Let's just go home. He's like, okay, I'll go home if you stop bitching. And I really got mad, like, yo, shut the fuck up, literally. I already accepted it as a fucking loss and shit. And literally, that is the strategy of his generation. And he's literally like, oh, calm down, Eris, calm down. It's just some material things. I'm like, no, I wear it all fucking day. That's something that has to do with you fucking with my passion, bro. And he's all like, man, it's just some shoes. I'm like, it's because you think it's just some shoes is why you get no pussy. He's like, oh, Eris, I wish you had some pussy that you can just call upon. And you know what I did? This is fucked up shit. You really think that he can come back like that? For anybody who comes at me with that angle, who knows I get pussy in real life, but knows I can't get in on command, because that's what bitch niggas do. This is literally how I came back. Now, I don't normally talk like this in the videos. I save my real personality for when I talk. My group home personality, which you're not ready for Miru MGTOW. Miru MGTOW is literally no stops, no fucking stutters, no none like that. And I'll do that in this channel because I fuck around. I'm not supposed to talk in this channel. This channel is all about charisma and editing. The other channel is literally how I talk at the group home. How I talk at the group home is me when I'm actually trying to reach my goal on paper. But this is me when I'm fucking around. So you think you can come at me with that angle? Oh, I wish you had some pussy that you can just call upon. Do you know what I immediately said at the group home? Me and the group home, me are way two different people. You know what I said after he thought that, oh, I want you to get in our spot. I'm like, no, because that puts them on blast. You see how I'm so fucking strategic? You see how I didn't give it to his trap? You see how you tried to make me boost my fucking ego, but I kept it at a level where it's a guarantee, even though it dimmed my reputation with his punk ass a little bit? It's true, it's very true. But the reality of the situation is, the Obelisk Blue was created in order to challenge me because I was killing shit in the mainstream media. Everybody wanted to know when my next AMV's coming out. It's all about Yugi motherfucking Moto. Everybody loved me as Yugi Moto on Thursday. Everybody still recognizes me to this day, but society got so fucking slanted. When I started living in the suburbs again, everybody started expecting the same shit that my brother was throwing at my face. Where they at? I see you do this and that. And when I start pulling numbers, they start hacking my phone. They start doing a whole bunch of nerd shit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. It's because you keep on literally fucking it with electronics is why every time you hack it's your fucking vibrator. And I don't feel sorry for you because you think that's gonna stop what's naturally gonna happen. Like, no, you need to actually gain swag. You have to actually see situations. You have to handle situations like the way I did with my brother and actually understand that they're trying to set you up for a trap. And when you stop letting yourself get set up for trap is when you stop being led on by girls and when you stop literally letting dumb shit happen to you. You don't understand. I was so fucking gangsta at the group home because I was taught this thing by Mr. Fab. Mr. Fab, I put Kabuto Yakushi as Mr. Fab, and you know Kabuto controls spirits and he controls ghosts. So I put Kabuto Yakushi, the master of reanimations, as the yellow bus rider, Mr. Fab. I was famous on Twitter for making alternate identities for the rappers, like Raven from Teen Titans was Raven Justice, the R&B singing. That shit was hella fucking clap. Yes, I am swag. Yes, I can do this and that, but I chose not to because I realized that it put me at a disadvantage in society, and I learned how to act more white in order to get more jobs, in order to fit into society more, in order for literally people to meet me halfway, so I won't be out of nigga shit, because that's what they lack. And literally, I understood that there was a difference between their professional ability, and that was the only thing that they had with my multi-dimensional ability. Like, yo, I can edit, I can go this and that, I can literally, I was so fucking free. People literally respected me. They didn't care if I had car, they didn't care this thing. You know what I was known for? I was known for dancing on the street, listening to my iPod everywhere. Like, today is a little bit more structured because I have to keep on making content. I have to keep on doing this and that. And literally, they're all like, you know what? Fuck the car. We're gonna go out and just gig. Literally, I was known for riding a BART. If you know where BART is literally, I was living in San Leandro, and literally, I would walk on BART, and I would literally go everywhere in the Bay Area, literally, listening to my fucking iPod, literally, slapping, just dancing and shit like that. Everybody respected me for being a traveler, and I looked like I was 100% professional, even though, you know, I was our group home, even though on the outside, I could be trifling. I kept on working hard on my career when I was at the group home, so it didn't fucking matter. People were all like, oh, these people put him in a position in society. He was a good person the whole time, but they wanted him to be a hoodlum. So when they put me in a street sports situation, I didn't stay a hoodlum. I kept on working hard. There was always something in the back of my head. Even though I was getting a ton of appraisals from Instagram, I didn't go to school for graphic design. That didn't stop me because I realized that I thought these guys were a jack of all trades. So they sacrificed the fact that they might not get all the bitches that I get. They might get one that they truly like, but then I figured out that MGTOW exists. Then I figured out that I needed to help people out. That's why I made Dark Game, because it's not always on the inside what matters. You need to get outside approval in order for you to have your cake and eat it too. I'm sorry, you have to literally have some sort of outlet, and that's what I had on Dizzler. Literally, I had some sort of clout. I had this and that, you know. I couldn't fight against somebody who's like, oh, I have to introduce you to my parents, so you have to do something like, no, you have to meet me halfway because you're already aware of the situation. I was known as Death the Kid, Ralph the Plug. I was known as all these alternate identities on fucking Dizzler. We need to literally understand that. You know what's the real fucked up shit about why I can't get cocky? Because I can't rely on my personal life like anybody else. I know I have over 1,000 subs on YouTube because when I gave a shout out to Anime Balls Deep, there was literally somebody who screenshotted how many subs I had, and they kept a filter on my channel saying that I still only have 300 subs in order to keep me humble, because a lot of people live through YouTube and just literally read comments to survive. And literally I have this and that, but when I saw it on YouTube, it went from 300 and 400 the next day, and that wasn't a coincidence after I got my fucking shout out. Literally, so that's how I know I have more subs and how I can view, but I know that there's other fucking factors in. My family is always getting chased by a gangster mob. My family is always literally being threatened. I have to stay humble, and I have to stay smart and not literally rely on this shit. I have to keep producing content, but I have to know it's fucking there, but know that I can't take advantage of this fucking platform because there's more at stake. It's just like the fucking ARL. I have to pretend that I'm still the fucking loser in order to have a fucking friend. I have to pretend that like me getting pussy doesn't mean anything, even though it means the most to like every fucking buddy. I know I have to literally pretend that what I'm doing isn't shit in order for people to say, oh, you still have a long way to go. It's not about it being true or not. It's so they can remain control of the situation, because I know the people in charge have to meet me halfway. You have to understand that you can't talk shit to the boss. You can't do this and that. You can't outshine the master. And that is the real fucking truth. I can't literally have all this appraisals. I'll go to school for graphic design, and I'm sorry, but that's the fucking truth, and that's why I have to stay fucking humble. I can't be like these other fucking rappers who literally get everything to their fucking fame and literally have a shitty personal life. I do have a good personal life, but let's get back to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so fucking strategic how you have to fucking be, and literally I have to pretend this and that, but I do fluctuate with people, and I do give street codes. Now I know how great I am, but I don't want to give up my freedom like that. There was this one time where this Mexican mob would not leave me alone, and so I'm like, you know what, it's this easy to imitate what your gang does, literally. And so literally, there was this time they were stalking me through a droid, and literally, they kept on literally replaying my battle with Sabo, kept on replaying my battle with X. It's like, how are we getting him to be social again? How are we getting him to get back in the ARL again? And so literally, so I keep on telling them, I'm like, bruh, you gotta think like this and that. You haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh? Literally, get on their level. This is how they talk, like, you gotta think of way out to beat your opponent and shit. And so literally, they literally was like, bruh, he's thinking like us. Like, no, I'm just saying that for you to leave me the fuck alone. And Yu-Gi-Oh is something I'm heavily in love with. So before I get into further details, before I get into how I own the Oculus Blue and how they never got further, I have to state this. I had the Alexis Rhodes assassin, and the reason why I did is because he's sexy as fuck. I used to have this fan ship between Alexis and Def the Kid, and it's called Kid Lexus. And that is symbolizing how opposites attract. Now, if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and you watch Soul Eater, they are the perfect fucking couple, and people start imitating them to sleep. Literally. There was literally black girls with blonde hair extensions wearing blue Adidas acting like Alexis and Def the Kid, and there were black guys with dreads literally imitating the couple all the fucking time. They are such a good couple, and I'm sorry, you cannot get away from that. And literally everybody was like, Alexis, Alexis, Alexis. Literally, I just get out from watching Justice League and they're like, Alexis, Alexis, Alexis. Nobody got enough of Alexis. There was a girl who showed up to my job whose name was Alexis, who literally heard that I was famous for making Yu-Gi-Oh! AMVs for local rappers, and it's just like, oh, I'm here for orientation. I'm like, what? Literally, she was wearing blue, and so at my job there was purple outfits, there were green outfits, there were blue outfits, literally, and red outfits being managers. So literally, she showed up in blue like Alexis in the Oculus Blue, and she said, I'm here for orientation. It was fucking great. I was literally known as a gang lord. So me and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have a long history, from it being my blockbuster success to literally me being known as Yami Yugi on the fucking streets. I have a long fucking history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I was Yami Yugi for Level Up Expo, but let me give you an Easter egg. It was back when Yami Yugi was black. Is who I cosplayed for Level Up Expo. But I also came back in 2020 when I cosplayed as Yu-Gi-Oh! Again on the dance floor. There's this specific form of dance called tutting, and when I learned how to cosplay, I learned that there was a whole lot more you can do with that, since anime is a very large platform. So if you know what tutting is, tutting comes from Egypt, and since Yugi is already Egyptian, I have this plan. I'm going to blow up because I'm going to go to this convention. I'm going to, since I already know how to dance, I'm going to bust a tut as Yugi Moto. And I did that shit, and it was fucking incredible. That idea skyrocketed. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was literally the basis of how people know me. And then I literally started going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Cup. I also entered the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, Level Up Expo. So here's what happened. I came prepared for Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. I started watching part 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I didn't know that literally we're on Reigns already. So literally, I came to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament for the first time, and literally, I went really fucking good. I haven't literally played at Yu-Gi-Oh! In a tournament before, so I played him in Lily. So that duel lasted for 10 fucking minutes. So what happened was this, is literally, I start off from magical hand power, and literally, I had that face down, and I automatically hit him with the 800. And so literally, I kept on playing, I kept on drawing rat cards like, damn, this fucking sucks. So literally, there was a time where he couldn't literally attack me because all his cards came with special ability in a chain. So literally, it's like, I'll pass for this round, I'll pass for that round. And so literally, it came to a time, that duel wouldn't have lasted because I had Torrential Typhoon literally face down. I tried to activate it, and he's like, hold up, you can't use that card. I'm like, what do you mean? I thought I choose when to activate it. It only activates when I draw a card. I'm like, what? I learned there's this thing called Street Yu-Gi-Oh! When literally these is current rankers who make up rules on spot, who literally force you not to play the game correctly. I've taken on 2 fucking decks, and one of them had alternate blue eyes. Do you know how hard it is to face an alternate blue eyes deck one-on-one? I destroyed him, and I summoned Dark Rebellion Dragon literally in my deck, and literally I was about to win the duel. It literally fodderized 2 of them, but it didn't matter because it's like, oh, I don't think you can play that. And I'm like, you know what? what? It doesn't matter. You're like, I'm gonna let you live your little nerd life, even though I literally showed you that you can do more. I practiced at Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally, because I'm infatuated with the fucking show. Because I play like the fucking show and I don't literally have a control deck, you can't read my movements. You don't know what's gonna happen next. They stopped me from playing Dr. Billy, and you're like, okay, so you know, I am giving and I do care for people, but you know what? That doesn't mean you can take advantage of me. So yes, I actually was at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Club after I was already known as the Gang Lord. It's like, hey, the Gang Lord's come to Yu-Gi-Oh! So literally, so I come through and I start killing shit, and even though I'm majority losing, I'm still new to the game, and I'm still beating people with literally Borlow Dragon in their fucking deck. Literally, I'm destroying them. I'm stopping them for summoning on spot, and literally, my deck is literally so fucking monstrous, and I literally have strategy on top of strategy. Literally, there were very good fucking moments at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Club, and literally, it was so fucking mayhem because I'm known for being a jack of all trades. I'm known for pulling bitches all over the place, but I'm also known for loving anime. And they're like, how is this guy who loves anime literally able to pull all these bitches? I thought being anime was just for nerds. I'm like, you know what? There are a lot of people out there who have kids who watch anime. Like, there's this guy in the bus, Lily, who just got done watching a Tournament of Power. And Lily, he was the same height as me. And Lily is like, yeah, man, I've been watching that with my son and shit. So Lily, so I was talking to that dude, and so after Lily, he turned off Dragon Ball Super. It was so fucking funny because he turned it off after the episode, and he's like, huh, now it's time for One Piece. It's hella fucking funny because me and my brother always watch Dragon Ball Super and One Piece. And Lily, I called him, he's like, bro, I was watching this fucking guy on bar, and he was literally watching Super and shit like that, and then he said, I just repeated the whole story I just told you guys. It's like, oh, that nigga stupid. But my Yu-Gi-Oh! Obsession is so fucking extreme. There was these two girls at my job that were friends at the time when I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So I'm gonna tell you like a little bit about the charisma and why I stopped getting jobs because of my charisma. So what happened was this: at my original job, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Every single time I had my 30, every single time I had my break period, I would watch an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And they happened to be a pair of twins at my job, and so I was watching them, and so I was known as Zane. Everybody called me Zane on the streets, and there were these two fine-ass white girls that literally were on my job every single day at my job. Just could not stop literally obsessing over me at my job, and literally, I was already watching Esther Phoenix, I was already watching Zane, I was watching all that shit. And after I started pulling Zanes, I went from Yami to Zane. There's a very long history of me in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you want to know how much I know about Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'll put it like this. There's no better Yu-Gi-Oh! than Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is my favorite fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry, I've marathoned all the Yu-Gi-Ohs, and I have to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is my favorite. Has literally the best premise, literally the best universe, the best characters, the best drip, the best everything where it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is literally my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! out of all of them. Because there's major flaws in the first one, there's major flaws in the second one, even though GX is damn near perfect. What Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 holds is that it has a lot of twists and turns within the universe, and even though there's not heavy shit at stake, emotionally as plot-wise, there's hella shit that turns Yu-Gi-Oh! As a character. There's so much shit that literally defines Yu-Gi-Oh! Why he separates everybody else, and why he is my favorite protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because he keeps a fun-loving attitude, but it's not like that. He knows how to take shit serious, and his whole entire world revolves around multidimensionality. There is no better Yu-Gi-Oh! than Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 because they integrated everything that was great about Yu-Gi-Oh! within that show. The strategy, literally, the intensity, how the story goes on, how the story twists and turns, how the story literally unfolds, literally. It didn't have the multiple layering and it didn't have the multiple meaning, but as far as literally being a kid show, but also literally being a shonen anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 takes the cake. I'm sorry, there's no better drip than Yuya Sakaki with the Rastafarian hair. And as far as decks, Yuya is the most OP. I know a whole lot more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Than you fucking think. White boys criticize me. You don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. You don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I know 5Ds is boring compared to GX. I know that Zexal is literally out the fucking water. I know that Arc 5 is the fucking best because of the main factor that literally it has the same amount of strategy as Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It has the same amount of twists and turns as Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And it has a really good main character just like the first Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why I fucking love Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 because it shows you why you don't really have to get caught up in Yu-Gi-Oh! And why every single different Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a part of an alternate universe and why it integrates so much. Everything great about Yu-Gi-Oh! is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, literally. That is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't have to watch the whole series. I can see how they play out because I marathon every single one of them. And what they are missing is literally consistency and multidimensionality, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 takes the cake in every way, shape, and form. Yu-Gi-Oh! Always has a comeback. His duels aren't just visceral, they're intellectual and they're filled with action. They're literally, nobody has better action duels than Yu-Gi-Oh! There might be an Easter egg because I used to have this addiction for smoking weed and watching anime. That might be why Yu-Gi-Oh! Has Rastafarian hair, but I'm definitely the reason why Yusaku has green eyes. I'm sorry, it's the fucking truth, but you know what? It's better that way because I am Playmaker. Sky is based off a girl I used to pull at the gym called Sky Bethany. I'm always calm, cool, and collect just like Playmaker. I literally have a really long history of Yu-Gi-Oh! So onto the Obelisk Blue. The Obelisk Blue was created because there was literally these people who literally started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And literally felt the same way that I felt in high school because they kept on falling asleep on episodes. They were getting high and literally falling asleep on episodes. The fucking theme song was great. So what gave me literally epic foreshadowing that I was great at Yu-Gi-Oh! Was literally when I was a junior in high school, my brother started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Literally, when I was a junior, literally, because he was bored. And literally, I was talking to my old friend Arturo, and I was like, guess what my brother was watching? Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And literally, they stopped talking and shit like that because they know that theme song is hella fucking raw. But I was known for literally posting on the theme song. I got famous for singing the GX theme song because I'm not in high school anymore. Alexis has crazy drip, Jaden has crazy drip, and a great personality. It doesn't matter anymore because nobody's judgmental anymore. And I got famous for having fun on Instagram. Everybody respected me for doing my thing now. It was no more, oh, you gotta say this like hip hop, or you gotta say what's swag. No, you just gotta have fun. And I taught everybody how to have fun in the Bay Area. There was this time when I was a little kid where I was watching Looney Tunes and Lily. So I tried to get myself a bird bath because my mom literally gave me consistent bird baths, and I clogged the fucking sink because I tried to get myself a bird bath and I forgot that I left the sink on. And literally, I went to go watch Looney Tunes. And so literally, the whole house got fucking flooded because I forgot to get myself a bird bath because I was so distracted by Looney Tunes. And it was funny as fuck. And so literally, the funniest shit when I got into Target, the next day after I just flooded the house, so I paid my mom a big ass water bill, was literally, I saw the Dark Magician, literally, the best model figure of the Dark Magician after that duel just came out. I'm like, Mom, can I please get that? She's like, you just flooded the fucking house! But there's too much shit with me and Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally, there were girls that literally came to Yu-Gi-Oh! Club who had boyfriends that literally were skateboarders, who had construction jobs, who had this and that. Literally, there are Met fans at the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Club. That comes from being older, man. People think that anime is literally for like spirits and shit. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was very popular on fucking TV. Stop thinking that it's a coincidence. We just grew up and we all used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! When we were younger. It's like, oh, well, that was fucking interesting. Now that we're not attacked by society, now that I made it regular to watch anime. Literally, they would go there to literally try and make me jealous, and they're all like, bruh, he's the only reason we have bitches at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Club. But like I said, Julia Crystal from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is another reason why I love Arc 5 and why it was always going to be my favorite fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is way better than you say. Do not come at me twisted. And like you say, I spent a year on the fucking streets, and I learned that gangsters are majority just a front. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't watched every single one all throughout, but I have to say, I feel like I'm the most balanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. Because I haven't finished 5Ds, I haven't finished Zexal, but I'm almost done with Arc 5, and I got literally halfway in the Vrains, and literally, I almost watched all the first one, and I have repeated Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Not literally, but like, a whole bunch of times, because that shit never gets old. People need to understand that you need to be strategic about your personal life. You need to stop literally worrying about, yo, I have to literally be up in this, up in that. Because I learned a whole lot more. Like, from the fucking ARL, there used to be this guy named Dual Killing Anime. He used to always choose Yami Yugi in a duel. I'm like, dude, you sacrifice your personal life to be high tier in the ARL. That's why I learned about him. He sounds like a fucking swerve. He gained the appraisal that I wanted to gain. And he literally played that shit out before I could. And I'm like, you know what? I'm forever in the shadow of duel, so I need to quit that shit. I need to quit literally achieving shit. What they want you to do in society is that they want you to break down walls, and once you break past those walls, they want to give you an illusion that's worth it, but you always feel like there's something missing. You don't want that in life. And people are wondering, oh, they do this and this and that. Like, do I have the will and do I have the drive to do all that shit myself? Do you want me to do that myself? Do you know how hard it is to make anime in a fucking studio? And he think I'm bitching and complaining, know that they already gave me credit? They already gave me credit by all those fucking Easter eggs. I don't need all that fucking money. I have something that's way more, people putting in effort, their time from the heart, literally, so much more than what a bitch will do for you. I'm sorry, they always compare this shit to bitches. I'm like, dude, there's way more to like than bitches. I'm sorry. Stop looking at guarantees and start looking at love. Start looking at what they're doing for you. I was okay with literally just getting shout-outs by rappers and literally not getting paid money for it, because what they gave me was way stronger than money. What they gave me was respect. And now they're giving me disrespect. Now they're trying to pull the whole brother game. I'm like, do you know I can shut your shit out? I can't do it on the spot because I became a pop star. You know what? I discarded my pop star career. I also discarded my fucking mob boss career. I discarded both of that shit because I learned if I keep on going word of mouth on paper, that I can't literally ever get the money that I need to protect my children. And literally, if I keep on being a pop star, they're gonna try and make me gangster again to a point where I turn gay. So literally, there was no way out. So I had to discard both those things. They're like, you know what? I'm not gonna be a pop star and I'm not gonna be a gangster. I'm gonna just be me. Since me is good enough now, since I actually worked out, since I actually got results, since I actually have multiple hobbies, since I actually proved these people wrong, they don't want me to stop BBOGX anymore. Do you know how many times that they got mad? And literally, I'm gonna give you a hint. It wasn't just the fact that I was supposed to have a date with Layla from when I literally had that interview at Target. He literally caught me for my date with Layla, but he also caught me for another reason. So literally, just like they said, you know how flight school works. There's literally every single year I play a really cool cartoon or a really cool theme song. Like at my first job, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And at the second job, it was Code Lyoko at Home Depot. Literally every single cartoon came with a kick-ass theme song and kick-ass characters. And then the third one, before I got the job, before I literally went for the interview at Target, literally, there was the Life and Times of Jericho Lee. And literally, I was watching that shit on repeat, and everybody was into it. I'm like, I am not gonna get this job because they see me watching this at work. It's gonna be the same thing. The bitches are gonna be on me. I'm sorry, people keep on making fun of me about, oh, you still watch cartoons, like you still this and that. I'm sorry, but girls work intellectually. Do not act like they don't like that theme song. Do not act like they don't like that drip. Do not act like they don't like the intellectual properties of this social media. You guys need to stop thinking stereotypically and start thinking logically. I have a whole world of fucking perspective. Back when I was on Thinser, everything was about perspective. Now it's all about stereotypical. And stereotypical is one-dimensional and perspective is worldwide. You have to understand that. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you say. I know what I do is good. So literally, this is the equivalent. Oh, we want to see you get it on paper. And you know, every time you ask me, like, why don't you have it on paper? Why don't they say, oh, this and this and that? Oh, this is inspired by this and this and that. Why don't they give you this on paper? Oh, so you literally want to play this elementary school game. I don't see your name on it. This is the equivalent to the shit that you fucking pull with me. You really think that that's equivalent to the greatness that I have? You really think that that outweighs the fucking freedom that I have? Do you really think that that outweighs me having my cake and eat it too? Go the fuck up. Yu-Gi-Oh! Been fucking thrilled. Yu-Gi-Oh! Been fucking gangster. Yu-Gi-Oh! Been fucking mainstream. And just didn't get mainstream credit because we were too busy looking at dumb shit all day. Yu-Gi-Oh! Been hip-hop. End of story.